Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to the month ahead astrology reading. Make sure you check your sun, moon, and rising signs for a comprehensive view of the month. Additionally, I would recommend watching the tarot reading of the month ahead for your zodiac to get a different perspective of the month. While you will know the astrology in advance through this session, I will also send you a reminder when the astrological events are near. All you have to do is subscribe, hit the bell, and you will be notified as the events occur. I occasionally post behind the scenes meditation guidance, quizzes, and polls, which you can check for yourself in my community page, and it goes without saying that you will be notified when new videos are out, such as other zodiac readings and pick a card tarot readings too. If you prefer to cut down the guesswork about your month ahead, you can always connect with me via Etsy to get a personalized week by week, month ahead tarot reading paired with the general astrology. So enough about me, let's talk about you. On the first, we have the Sun meeting with Mercury in the sign of Cancer, and that is activating your 10th house of career, your goals and ambitions, and the status that you're looking for in life or have at the moment. So there can be some new information and knowledge that comes to you. There is clarity that as well comes in regarding anything that you are doing creatively or through an authority figure as well. There can be some direction that comes here. If you have your own business, then this can be talking about having a new business idea or implementing a new idea as well if you've gotten the idea already. Okay, then on the second, we have Venus in Leo squaring with Uranus in Taurus, and Leo is your 11th house of network, friendships, hopes, and aspirations, as well as your ideals. And Taurus is in your 8th house. Yes, your 8th house of shadow work, your subconscious mind, your shared resources, vulnerability, intimacy, your fears, insecurities, and the transformations that you're going through. Now, Uranus has been here for quite some time, so releasing stagnancies within your subconscious mind or the way that you were reacting or operating in the past, that is no longer standing a chance over here. And the North Node is as well over here, so the more purging, the more transformation, and the more shadow work that you do, the more benefits you're experiencing from this. So now that Venus is squaring this can talk about getting some valuable insights through your friendship, or there is some breakthrough in your subconscious mind, like letting go of a particular fear that has been especially sticky, and that helps you move towards your long-term goals and aspirations. This is also helping you find your individuality in a new sense and find better stability and security in that. You can also find some things that you're passionate about. There can even be more fun and more passion within friend groups, and that is a nice release from any stresses that are ongoing. On the third, we have a full moon in Capricorn. So the moon is in Capricorn in your 4th house, and the sun is in Cancer in your 10th house. So the balance between work and life is going to come up here. How much time do you spend with family or at home, and how much time are you spending on your ambitions and pursuing your goals? So there can be some rebalancing happening where you need to rest a little bit more. You might feel as though you're a little bit introspective and introverted around this time, and that's because you are dealing with some, not blockages necessarily, but other priorities that you have going on. Because it's a time of the full moon, though, this talks about completion and pivot points. So there can be maybe a realization that you would like to change your home, or you want to shuffle around the rooms if you have that flexibility, or throwing out old furniture, bringing in new ones, just changing the vibe in your space. And when I say pivot point, I mean the things that have happened in the last 6 months regarding your home and family situation. There can be new developments in that, or we find out that the reshuffling we had done in the past 6 months is no longer holding valuable. Now, the 4th house also talks about your private self, your inherent nature, and your early childhood, as well as your ancestry. So you might be more called towards your childhood home. You might find yourself feeling a little bit nostalgic as well, and you might even revert to some childhood tendencies or hobbies too that you would like to, I guess, you can incorporate that in your your everyday life if that's something you want. On the 9th, we have a harmonious aspect between Mercury in Cancer in your 10th house with Neptune, who is retrograde in Pisces, in your 5th house. So now, this is talking about, not your 5th house, sorry, 6th house. So this is talking about having a good relationship at work with your colleagues or employees, and employer as well. The routines and lifestyle that you have going on is bringing you some peace, joy, some bliss as well. Any projects that are going on, creative or intuitive or otherwise, they can be showing some good results. If you've been meditating, introspecting, and getting involved in creative projects, then this is going to bring in some new ideas and perspectives that can be especially inspiring. Now, Neptune retrograde can talk about reality checks. So you might be like, okay, I gotta push a little bit harder in order to achieve my health goals, but I'm excited that there are some results that are showing up, and I'm just gonna keep going. The way that you speak to yourself can also change, and it is quite noticeable in the way that you deal with situations. Okay, because we're talking about more public houses where you're dealing with other people, so they will notice this shift in perspective or your mindset. You're likely to feel more refreshed in this time as well. On the 10th, we have a lot of things going on. The first is we have Mercury in Cancer right opposite Pluto in Capricorn, and Pluto is retrograde at this time. So the changes and transformations you want to be making are not going to be triggered from the outside, but rather from the inside out. But it is going to have a direct impact on your communication at work or the way that you're showing up in the world. Okay, your words and your communication are being especially sought after, or they are being observed. So the clearer you are inside, the more clearly you can speak on the outside. But I like this opposition because Mercury makes everything more conscious. Meanwhile, Pluto is a little bit farther off planet, and it has a large, revolution cycle. So it takes a while to complete a chapter. Meanwhile, Pluto can give in, kind of channel in through this opposition, this conduit that's forming between these two planets, some conscious information that can be easily implementable. There can also be some direction or documentation that you might have to read, or you discover through your work, through your ambitions, for your ambitions as well. And that needs you to kind of go through it in your private time. Perhaps you don't have so much time to spare during your work hours or during your prime activity hours during the day. The same day, we have Mars moving from Leo into Virgo. So that moves the activity from your 11th house of friendships, network, and aspirations to your rest, relaxation, and spiritual connection. There can be some healing that is going on. You might be wanting to detox and release things that are just not working very well for you, and you want to start a new health regimen, new diet plan, or new outlook on life as well. So Mars indicates activity. Wherever it goes, there is action. So you might be sleeping more, or you're prioritizing your sleep and rest quality a lot more. And you might be organizing your bedroom, or you're getting in new sheets. You're kind of doing the laundry more often. Little things like that, little details like that can make a huge difference. That's what Virgo symbolizes. You might also be in the position to heal other people. But primarily, I feel as though this is a personal realization, because the same day we have Mars in Virgo, that is now recently moved, trining with the North Node in Taurus. So the internal work that you do, or the cleansing that you do, has a positive effect on the fears and insecurities that you have. So managing your energy. If you're not feeling good, then you're not feeling good. You can't feel, no matter what substances get involved or other dependencies can come up, it is still not going to make you feel as good as you would if, you individually were in that space. So you're discovering new insights on what holds you back and how you can transform those situations. Also, you might be taking some steps towards doing something that is scary for you, or you have hesitated in the past, but now that the North Node is just about to shift out of Taurus, you have the courage enough to go for it. Okay, so deeper questions, deeper insights that lead to a lot of valuable answers and revelations about who you are and what you value and prioritize. The next day we have Mercury moving into Leo from Cancer. So the mental focus is shifting from your 10th house of career and ambitions into your friendship circle, your networks, and who are you associating with. There can be new hobbies and new connections that you form who can later lead to a romantic situation if that's something you're looking for. But otherwise, it's a generally very fun time. You might find yourself communicating with people who you might have lost touch with, or even if you're regularly in touch with those people, you're like having deeper conversations or more fun and going out more. And this is the Mercury is squaring the North Node in Taurus at this time. Okay, and this is the last aspect that the North Node will form while being in Taurus. So this brings about some missing steps or missing information to kind of finish off the cycle. So this is something you did not know, and take this piece of information, use it for the cycle ahead. And Mercury is like, all right, I'm going to take it on board. And because these are like fixed sign situations, there can be an air of stubbornness, but at the same time, it's very revelatory because the North Node is involved. This can talk about getting some new information about your friends or through your friends that is kind of bringing up old fears or insecurities, or it can be that you would desire to go towards certain hopes and aspirations, but you have certain obstacles at this time, so you might have to postpone certain things. So in that way, the insight that you get is the missing steps that need to be completed before you achieve your goals. Then big one for you guys, okay? We have on the 12th the North Node moving into your opposite sign of Aries, and it's going to stay here for the coming 1.5 years. And the eclipse cycles are also going to happen in the Aries and Libra axis. So this is going to teach you a lot about relationships and a lot about yourself. You will be leaving behind tendencies and dependencies that you've held on to for a long time in the past, and you will be reinventing yourself in this time. And you will gain so much perspective through other people. And wherever the North Node is, there's a lot of growth and expansion. So you might be making new friends, making new connections, interacting with different types of people. And even with the existing friends, it doesn't mean that you're leaving behind old friends necessarily, unless that's something you've been wanting to do. But regardless, even with the older friends, you are more in that observer state. You're consciously observing them, learning from them, and learning from their mistakes as well, okay? And because South Node is in your zodiac, it's as though you are able to help other people who are going through major life changes. So you are that guidance point. People will come to you for, your support, your perspective, or your opinion, or your just openness and honesty. You're a communicative sign. You try to understand the other person's perspective. I think that's going to be especially appreciated by others. Okay, so through this interaction, you also appreciate these qualities about yourself much more, and you're kind of raising your vibe through this whole situation. So last 1.5 years, we had the Taurus-Scorpio axis. So whoever is a Taurus or Scorpio, they went through all of these situations. Now they're kind of out of this cycle beyond this point. But if you have any friends who have this zodiac, then they can, give you some important insights on coping with this or making the most of this situation too. And you would, of course, get some real life examples of how the astrology has played out. But absolutely lots of growth within relationships. If you're already in one, this indicates you're taking things to another level. And that might mean that you're leaving behind an old self or an old status or an understanding of yourself. You're relating with yourself differently because you're relating with other people differently. Okay. And this can also mean if you are not in a relationship, that you are clearly defining what you are looking for, and you are kind of seeing things in a very realistic perspective, that there are some things that you need to work on as well. And if you have worked on certain things, then you're completing that cycle in this time, and you're being very patient, you're discovering new facets of you, and you're attracting, you're manifesting and bringing into your life that right partner. On the 17th, we have a new moon in Cancer, and that's in your 10th house. New projects coming in, new ambition, new drive, and the way that you're showing up in the world can be kind of taking on a new flavor, a new turn. You're more compassionate and more empathetic. There can be people who come in who need this compassion and empathy. So that's how you're being visible. It is a new moon energy, so there is a sense of inexperience. So people who are less experienced than you can be coming to you for guidance. And you're in that compassionate teacher type of position where you can help others out. The same day, we have a square between Mercury and Leo in your 11th house with Jupiter in Taurus in your 8th house. So and this can again talk about where do you stop yourself from expanding your horizons? Where are you limiting your own dreams? Do you dream too small for yourself? Where can you expand that? How can you follow up on your passions? And what needs to be transformed and let go? If you want to make space for something new, then something else which is not needed anymore or is completed now needs to be let go. And because it's a new moon day, it's a perfect time to declutter. Okay, on the 20th, we have a favorable aspect forming between the Sun in Cancer in your 10th house with Neptune, who is retrograde in Pisces in your 6th house. So once again, your work life is being blessed. You are being noticed for your contribution and also for your emotional health and well-being, how you're being present for everyone, you're compassionate and loving as well. You can have an especially healing influence if you are a healer or someone who's creative. Then again, you are coming up more prominent around this time. You're making more of an impact in your everyday surroundings, and your work is being presented in the large populace if you are more public. The same day, we have an opposition between Mars in Virgo in your 12th house with Saturn in Pisces in your 6th house, and Saturn is as well retrograde. So definitely there is some restructuring going on here and rebalancing. The thing with oppositions is that we must find moderation on both sides of the opposition. So we don't want to be sleeping all day and missing out on all the chores, but at the same time, we don't need to be only doing chores and skip on our self-care. So finding the best possible way to, go about things is going to be presented at this time. And on the 22nd, we have another opposition. The Sun is in Cancer, and that is the opposite Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is retrograde. So once again, we talk about how much focus is there in your workspace, how much are you spending for your family and your home situation or to rest. There can be some not new ambitions, but like the ambitions you already have going on throughout the month. There can be new realizations about that, or you are deciding to let go of certain things. There's some sort of decision that's happening here. The same day, we have the Sun in Cancer squaring with the North Node in Aries. And that is about your 10th house and your 7th house. So this is the first aspect that North Node is forming while being in Aries. So you will discover likely how much time you're spending at work and how much time you're able to spend with relationships. And also you might discover that your priorities are at odds. This can also indicate that your partner has certain things going on related to their home and family. So you might not be able to spend as much time as you would love to with them, and they might be otherwise focused. But because you're in that compassionate position here, you're taking on that role, and that's what you're being identified as. You're being accepting, but at the same time, of course, it's not very enjoyable if other people are unable to be there for you for whatever reason. And it's definitely a legit reason because the North Node is over there, which means they literally have some things going on. There's new activity that's forming in their lives. The next day, we have a new zodiac season. We have Leo season. The Sun moves into Leo, and Venus in Leo goes retrograde, and that's in your 11th house. So again, decluttering old aspirations that's coming in. And what do you think is fun now? What are you hoping to get in your life? How do you relate with your friends? How do you meet up? And how do you have fun with them? All these things come up here. If you're in social media and networking, influencing, all of these things are relevant for you. You might be looking at how you maintain your page. Maybe you want a different look, a different style to mirror all the new versions that you're becoming now. There are some new ideas that are coming through here, and while Venus is retro, you might develop that plan of what to change, what stays, what goes. There can be some new equipment as well that you get in order to make like better photographs or edit things better or something like that. This is especially true if performance or creativity is more up your alley. But yes, the sun in Leo is a good time to do that. But of course, Venus is retro. So, take note of these ideas, but maybe implementing them in a public platform at this time might not be the best choice because you might change your mind afterward. So just take notes, take the ideas, and once it turns direct again, you can start implementing them. The same day we have Mercury in Leo squaring with Uranus in Taurus. So yes, blocks once more come back. Why do you connect with certain types of people? Or, why are certain dreams more valuable to you? Your ideals that you thought were unshakable, now you might be like, well, maybe that's not true anymore. Maybe I don't believe that anymore because of so and so reasons. So that can be a little bit stressful, because Leo or Taurus are not about changing things, but you're a Libra. You can be discerning, you can be clear when something gotta go, something gotta stay. You know how it is. So I think you're going to cope with it just fine. Plus, Leo is at a sextile angle to Libra. So the ideas that you get, or the conversations you have with perhaps your friends, or the ideas you have regarding your aspirations, can lead to some breakthroughs. On the 27th, we have Mercury meeting with Venus in Leo, and Venus is retrograde at this time. So this is the first time that we get some conscious advice or revelations about what Venus in retro is trying to do. Okay, or trying to create. We are much more clear about the themes that are about to play out. And the thoughts that we have at this time, or the ideas we get at this time, has likelihood to follow up when Venus goes direct. So take notes of the ideas that come through at this time. Okay, or the conversations you have with your network or your friends at this time. On the 28th, we have Mercury in Leo trining with the North Node in Aries. And once again, that brings into focus your 11th house and your 7th house. You're spending very nice time with your partner, or having a very nice conversation, quite inspiring, fiery, and romantic in nature as well is possible. If you deal with clients, they are especially admirable of your work, and you might be very inspired to go for the dreams and goals that you have. Also, this can mean that you're being inspired by observing someone else who goes for their dreams and does their things, and you're like, I want to be like that. How do you do it? Please tell me how you take more initiative. I would love to learn this skill from you. Something like this. So open communication with them is going to yield such amazing results for you. And this is a very nice tip to get, because right after this, Mercury moves into Virgo. And at this time, you are going to be cleansing things, decluttering your space, reorganizing things, and maybe taking another look at how you rest and how important rest, spirituality, meditation, these types of things are. Your downtime needs to be upped in quality in some way. This also means if you have like perfectionistic tendencies, or you are critical of yourself, then you can, and that's what stops you from pursuing your goals and dreams. This is where you're working on these things. Okay, so the advice that you get from your friends or from people that you look up to or admire in your peer group, they can give you some insights that you then think about for the cycle that Mercury is in Virgo. That's going to lead to some awesome insights, because right after that, Mercury will move into your zodiac. Next month, we'll talk about that when the time comes. But absolutely, this is going to lead to a form of rebirth. Okay? So that's what I have for you. Thank you for being here. I really hope you enjoyed and that the messages help you out throughout the month. Stay tuned for the tarot reading for your zodiac sign as well. I will be uploading them soon. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified whenever that's up. And if you enjoyed the reading, please do like and comment your thoughts if you have any. It will be really lovely to hear back from you, and it really helps the channel grow as well. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.